The artist is Toole, and he's a second-year graduate student in my program at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville.
We came down for the Mid-America Conference, and I'm a graduate student at Southern Illinois University under Tom Geip, and got the opportunity to do the type of art that I do in front of a large crowd at this conference. Jack Gron, head of sculpture, head of the art department at Kentucky, invited me down, and all of the crew here with me to do this performance. Method of iron casting using metal when it's in liquid form, not just to create an object, but to use the metal to draw with, to use the metal as performance, showing process.
But right now we're starting the burn-in with some propane and air.
So all of these structures are just a glorified way of pouring metal, and I find it the most fun.
Once we get this nice and hot, then we're going to add some air to it, bring the heat up on this thing, and once we get it completely burned in before we throw the metal charges, it's going to be right around 3,000 degrees in the melt zone, which is very hot.
Nonsensical contraption. Who would do this for any reason, but I enjoy it.
We'll put the iron in on top of the coke, and the heat of the coke will melt the iron. The iron will drip through this coke bed and get superheated on the way through.
Here's here?
Yeah, here's the iron. It's broken up radiators. They're all broken up to be about this size.
This whole piece of equipment here is a melter, and we'll open up the bottom of it. After all that metal is melted, there'll be about 280 pounds of, or 220 pounds of metal, and we'll open the furnace up, and the metal will run out.
For industrial purposes, it's been around for hundreds of years. As an art form, it only came around in the late 40s, early 50s with Julius Schmidt casting in and bringing these industrial processes in for artistic purposes. And this is relatively new as far as art goes using cast iron. I mean, 50 years. This is going to be a two-part pour. The first part is going to be the idea of creating an object. It's a sculpture that creates sculpture. It's called the ferromatic, which is after John Tinglia, an Austrian artist who made these metamatic machines that drew on paper. They were artwork that made artwork. So pulling from that, I'm going to pour a dish in iron. The first pour will be a controlled pour. We're going to play on this control and then chaos. And then we'll take the dish away, we'll take the mold away, and we'll set up a longer trough made of wood to have a chaotic pour, which we'll use the metal then to draw on wooden panels. And we have a wheel that will pick the metal up and fling it onto a wooden surface, kind of a Pollock-esque, kind of a lack of control, but a structured control. A lack of control, but a structured control, but it's chaotic. When the iron flows down over the panels, it's going to pick up a black powder trail, which will lead up to the tipple, what basically a water tower, but it's called a tipple, and that'll set off a black powder charge, which will release 80 gallons of water. You figure 8 pounds a gallon. And then the water will come down and extinguish the metal. It's this kinetic interaction between the elements of iron and water and steam. It's this creationist kind of thing. When will this culminate? Tonight in 2 hours. First pour in 2 hours.